is Joe Betar.
This is Ramon Robles.
And we talk to fascinating people about their love of hunting, shooting sports, and the outdoors. This is Hunting Matters. So what you been up to, man? What are you thinking about? You look like you're contemplating the future.
I am. I'm at the DEA Ranch website. That's DEARanch.com.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and book something because, 4-hour drive, 3.5-hour drive.
Yep.
Hunt just about anything I want.
Yep.
It's also my understanding that I can, we'll dig into that. You'll hear it here on the show.
Yeah. My buddy, longtime buddy, Leo Martinez, the ranch manager down at DEA Ranch, is going to enlighten us on everything from turkey hunting to whitetail hunting to fishing in South Texas. So I'm looking forward to it. Join us for our episode of Hunting Matters with Leo Martinez of the DEA Ranch. Leo, what's happening, my man?
Not a whole lot.
Where are we talking to you from today?
I'm at the ranch. I'm at the lodge, sitting in the lodge down here at the ranch, DEA in Mathis. So.
For folks who are joining us, Leo is the ranch manager at DEA Ranch, which is located in Mathis, Texas. I'm going to say approximately halfway between San Antonio and Corpus Christi.
A little closer to Corpus.
Yep.
We're about 40 minutes north of Corpus Christi and about an hour south of San Antonio.
So, Leo, I'm going to age both of us. How long have we known each other?
Oh, my gosh, Joe. It's been a minute. Let's be polite and say it's been a minute.
Yeah,
so,
I think it's been it's been 18 years this year.
I believe pretty close to it. Yes,
that's scary. We both had a lot more hair 18 years ago.
Yeah, that's why I do the hat.
Yeah, well, everybody put your sunglasses on.
I went with the AirPods instead of the headset. So.
There you go.
Very nice.
So Leo is the manager. Like I said before, he's a ranch manager at DEA Ranch. And Leo, you grew up in South Texas.
Yeah, yes, sir. I was born in Freer, which is, it don't matter where you're at. You mention Freer, and everybody goes, "Oh, I know where that's at," because they've hunted. It's so well known for deer.
Yep.
Deer hunting. And so, I was born and raised there, and it just keeps coming back to South Texas. I've moved here and there, different jobs, and seem like I always end up back in the brush.
Yeah. Have you managed ranches and hunting operations your entire life, or what did you do as a young man?
Yes. I mean, literally, it seems like I grew up there. My grandfather managed. I say managed. He was a ranch foreman on a ranch in between Freer and Tilden, McMullen County. When I was growing up, he was there for 40 years, 40 years. So I would spend, summers, weekends, every chance I got, I was out there at the ranch with him. And it was a cattle ranch. Back then, the hunting was secondary, wasn't important. And they leased it, and they kept a couple of pastures where, we were able to hunt. But so I grew up on that ranch. Man, that's as far back as I can remember, through high school, and went to college, graduated from college, and actually went to work on that ranch when I got out of college, went right back on there. So, yes, sir. But yeah, I've been down there all my life.
Now, did you guys grow up as kids? Did you grow up hunting, or like you said, beef was, cattle and things like that were kind of primary, but did you guys hunt much growing up, fish, or both, or?
We did. My dad loved to hunt. Loved being outdoors. Of course, our fishing, and it was funny looking back now. Our fishing was done in stock tanks. Ponds. We didn't really go to the coast and fish, even though we were pretty close to it. But my dad was a hunter. He absolutely loved to hunt. My grandfather hunted out of necessity. More for meat. And it's funny because my dad, as much as he loved to hunt, December was our hunting time because of the rut. Loved to hunt the rut. And feeders weren't a big thing. Corn lines, we tend to sit and rattle. Rattling antlers was his thing. Golly, we spent so much time sitting on the ground, watching send arrows and rattling.
So people that are not familiar with hunting in Texas or South Texas specifically, because it's it's different all over the state, but South Texas, things like that. When you say senderos, give our audience a little bit of an example of kind of the terrain in South Texas.
It's brush. South Texas is brush, and the rear is kind of unique to the brush country. I think we've got low brush, we've got mesquite, Guajillo and Cenizo, and all this different. The variety of brush is so great down here,
right?
And that's one of the reasons we have such big deer. Everything is really good for them. So you've got brush that's anywhere from 6 feet to 12 foot tall. So in order to be able to see, they come in with dozers or tractors or whatever and cut roads. And my thing is, most people say, "Oh, we're hunting a sendero," and I use the term, sendero, and it can be anything from just a lane that's cut in between the brush to a road, actual road we use. And it's kind of a generic term for, an opening in the brush.
Mm.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, we would hunt senderos, just literally sitting down, looking down roads.
I'm looking at the website and my heart skipped a beat because it says hunts we offer. And I could have sworn dove hunting said donkey hunting. And I thought, well, that's unique, but it's dove. It's dove hunting.
Well, they do have a unique animal down there that Leo, tell them about your donkey.
We have.
No, this is a family friendly show, so be careful.
We have a, we do have a donkey. We have a Z-donk.
Oh,
which is a
yeah.
cross between a zebra and a donkey.
Yeah.
And she's beautiful. It's a mare, and she looks like a mule, like you ride. She's that size.
Okay.
But she's gray on her back. But as you get further down the body, you start seeing the zebra stripes down the side of her flanks, down her legs.
That's funny.
So, no, she's beautiful.
And we can't
Beautiful
hunt
animal.
that. We can't hunt her. That wouldn't be right.
No.
Yeah.
She's
That's
she's
not
off limits. She's the pet. And, but we do have a whole lot of different exotics. One of Joe's favorites that we have on the ranch that he just keeps telling me, you've got to keep these here is emus.
Is that true?
Really, really loves emus.
Wow.
No.
That didn't seem like you, Joe.
No,
I believe Leo.
Let's talk about the emu issue here. Just say no to emus, folks. If you have a ranch or a property and you think they'll be cool on it, if you plan on hunting and having any private time, don't put emus on the property. we turkey hunt with Leo and his daughter Madison, who is also the guide extraordinaire. I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to Madison because when she watches or listens to this, if we don't do this, I will never hear the end of it.
That's right.
So Madison Martinez, the best hunting guide in all of South Texas. But they have these emus on there, Ramon, and they're infamous for the minute you sit down and get comfortable in your turkey spot, they will show up behind you or in front of you, and peck your decoys to death, or put their face right into your face.
Why? Just because that's what they do?
That's what they do. And so
that's what they do. Yeah.
They're just annoying. And so I hope I don't talk out of turn here. We were just all, just running our mouths in camp last year. And I said, Leo, look, we got a problem. These emus will not leave us alone. He goes, well, if you see one and they're interfering with your hunt, just take care of the situation. And we're all just laughing. We're not going to do anything, just laughing and cutting up. And I'm like, really? Yep. And I swear that was on a Thursday, I think, something like that.
Yes, sir.
The rest of the weekend, another emu never came near us.
Wow.
So it was like
It was like the memo went out.
they had a cup up against the door of the lodge, and they were like,
Yeah.
don't mess with them anymore. Never. We saw them, but they were never within 100 yards of us the whole weekend. So.
Now, silly question. Are they on the ranch because people can hunt them?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Never heard of that.
Yes. Yep. Yep. We have it's the variety of animals is, and it's amazing how many we've got. We've got, I don't know, I've never really counted up the different species, but it's probably 15, 17, maybe 20 different species on the ranch. And that just happens to be one of them. And I have had some people that wanted to hunt them. They want the meat. They wanted to hide, feathers.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, okay, well, let's shoot it and now we're done.
Yeah.
They utilize the meat and the hides.
So
Yes, sir.
being your ranch is so unique and it has so many animals on there, Could I, for example, just give you $1,000 and shoot 2 shots in one direction and take whatever I hit?
2 shots in one direction.
Just you pick the direction, and I just fire 2 times within a minute, and then just follow that line of the path of the bullet and see what if I've hit anything.
That's ethically irresponsible of you, Ramon.
Oh, well, see, I didn't. Okay, yeah, you're right, because you could hit it in the butt or something and not take it down.
Or you could shoot one of Leo's hands or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah. But if I have the option of pointing you in the direction that I want to point you in, you're going to go home empty-handed. I'm going to go home with $1,000.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's why you ask the questions, Betar, so that way you learn and you grow as a hunter.
You
See,
learn as you go.
now I know.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Leo.
We're going to have to get Ramon down there and help handle that hog problem you've got.
I would love to.
Please.
I will come right now.
He is a hog hater, fanatic, whatever you want to call him. He absolutely despises them, but loves to shoot them.
Mark your calendars for October 3rd, 2024. It's the Houston Safari Club Foundation Sporting Clays Tournament at the Greater Houston Sports Club. This is a fun event to raise money for youth outdoor education, scholarships, and conservation. Male, female, youth, and professional categories. Sign up yourself or a full team of 4. Individual shooters will be squatted with other shooters. Food, games, raffles, and more. All ammo provided by RC USA cartridges. Open to the general public. Go to We Hunt, We Give to sign up today.
When seconds matter in the game, every single decision made can mean a big win or a frustrating loss. When it comes to buying your next home and selling your existing home in the current market, every decision can mean serious money. Aggie fans, it's Dave South, and as you know, I've studied the best players and the best teams to represent our A&M family. One thing I've learned over the years, the best coaches have the respect of their team and the 12th man, you, the fans. In Bryan College Station, no realtor has more 5-star reviews on Google than Lance Lester and his team at the Lester Group. Why is that? Simple. No one offers more options that benefit you. If you want to buy your next home before you sell your current home, Lance can help you do that. If you want to know the date and price that you can count on your home selling for, Lance can guarantee it in writing. When the game is on the line, you want a leader with a proven track record calling the shots. Get your home sold faster and for the most money. Work with my friend Lance Lester and the Lester Group. Go to thelestergroup.com. That's thelestergroup.com and experience lightning in a bottle selling your home.
The Houston Safari Club Foundation Worldwide Hunting Expo and Convention is coming January 16th through the 19th, 2025 at the Woodlands Waterway Marriott Hotel and Convention Center. Hunting outfitters and fishing guides from around the world, firearms, optics, outdoor gear, taxidermy, and more. Banquets, raffles, auctions, and live entertainment. Find out more at WeHuntWeGive.org. Presented by Boyd's Hardwood Gunstocks, Capital Farm Credit, Wildlife Partners, RC Cartridges USA, DEA Ranch, the Lester Group, Way Engineering, Gunworks, Forlow, Global Rescue, and Compandero Indoor Archery Pistol and Rifle Range.
It's funny, no matter how well you know this land, you always seem to get lost in it. That's because it's your escape, your place to reconnect to nature and yourself. At Capital Farm Credit, we're proud to help people like you purchase recreational land where you can hunt, fish, four-wheel, or simply get lost in. To learn how we can help you secure land like this, visit CapitalFarmCredit.com. Capital Farm Credit. Together, we're better.
Let's talk about DEA Ranch a little bit.
Yes,
so for years, I would drive my family from San Antonio down to Port Aransas, Corpus Christi, and ride by this place and look on the left side of the highway and go, oh, DEA Ranch. Drug Enforcement Agency.
Right.
It used to be a drug lord's place that they've confiscated. This was going on in my imagination until, and I knew Leo for years before, and before he actually became the manager at DEA Ranch. And then, of course, I find out he's down there, and I'm like, we know each other. You know, I show up the first time, I'm like, we know each other. Yeah, you know. So we reconnected after several years. And so DEA Ranch stands for Dancing Elk Alexander Ranch, and their website is dearanch.com. And tell the story about the elk.
He just loves the elk.
The ranch owner, yep.
Yes, the ranch owner. And I, you know, and it's kind of a, well, so we have, let me back up a little bit. So we have a venue on the ranch. Okay, we have a wedding venue on the ranch. We do weddings and meetings and quinceañeras and all kinds of things on the ranch. He really likes the elk, so we have an elk herd that's pretty strong elk herd on the ranch. And I think when he named it, I think he played both, kind of doing, okay, well, we've got elk, but we also have this venue, so I'm going to kind of combine the two things, so it's Dancing Elk, and his last name is Alexander. And so, that became the name of the ranch. Of course, it's Dancing Elk Alexander. So we shortened it down to DEA just for ease and, make it a little bit easier to remember. So of course, it's hard to forget Dancing Elk Alexander,
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the name came from. Yes, sir.
It also can spell out deer. Not the EE.
Deer.
DEA Ranch. Yeah.
DEA Ranch. Deer.
Good point. Yeah. Very good point. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned the venue. I mean, you guys are kind of a one-stop shop for a lot of different people. You've got the venue, you've got the wedding venue, and Ramon,
Yes,
it's not like a little church out in the back of the pasture.
Yeah.
It is how many people can you guys seat in there if you had tables in there?
I think the most they've had is what the girls tell me. I think they've had 450 people in it.
So big venue for meetings and fundraisers and weddings and that sort of thing. And one of my favorite stories is Leo has told me about wedding parties that come out and go shoot dove.
That's neat.
And then go inside and get married.
Yeah.
And then they're taking wedding pictures outside where they're all out there with their shotguns and stuff, which is really cool.
Very neat.
So they've got that to offer. Yeah.
I've had the groomsmen call and say, hey, can we hunt, the morning of? And so we'll have the groomsmen out there Saturday morning hunting dove, during dove season. And then they'll get done, go have lunch, and go put their tuxes on and walk right across the road, from the house to the venue and get married, So I did have a bride one time. She came in and they had booked for the wedding. And they called me from up there and said, hey, you got a minute? This bride would like to visit, the bride and her fiance. And I said, sure. So I drive up there and she said, hey, I've got a question. And I said, okay. She said, I want to book a hunt. She said, I'd like to hunt axis or, because it was kind of in the springtime. It wasn't, deer season, whitetail season. So I said, okay. And she said, but I want to hunt the day before the wedding or the morning of, if we have to. She said, I'd like to hopefully, shoot an axis, black buck, something like that. She said, we'll decide what we're going to hunt. She said, I want to take pictures in my wedding dress holding this animal. She was a hunter. And she said, I want to get a picture of me holding an axis, or a black buck or whatever, but I want my wedding dress on. And I was like, man, let's go. This is going to be the coolest picture ever. And so we tried to line up the dates. They set the wedding, and then we were working on the hunt. Okay, well, here's the days. Let's try to do it this day and this day before. Get everything. And then she calls me, and she's like, I'm not going to be able to do it. She said, my mother just threw a fit when she found out what I was doing. She said, because she's scared you're going to get blood, you're going to get dirty. And we were going to lay blankets down, where she could, sit down with this animal. And she said, I just believe they would disown me. She said, they were so upset. Everybody was so upset. And she said, so I'm going to give in and not do it. But I just thought that would be the coolest thing ever.
Well, Ramona put on a wedding dress to take a picture of him holding like a hog or something.
Again.
Yeah.
I'll put a wedding dress on again because it wouldn't be the first time.
Again.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah.
So people who've never been to DEA, let's talk a little bit about it. We got the entertainment venue, and that's all great and phenomenal. I mean, we've actually had meetings and things out there before, and it's phenomenal. But tell us a little bit about DEA Ranch, kind of what your philosophy is for hunting, and what people can expect when they come to DEA.
We try, as philosophy, we try real hard to concentrate on that hunter. We work real hard to do exclusive hunts. I do not like to mix groups, and even, we're doing the show. We do the Houston Safari Club, and I have people walk up to the booth and they'll say, hey, we're looking at this and we've got so many people. And I say, okay. And they'll say, well, how many can you accommodate? And I'll say, well, how many's in your group? And they'll say, well, how many are going to be there? And I'll say, no. How many are in your group? Because this is what we do. it makes our season. I tell everybody it makes our season long because we focus on that hunter, that group. 2 hunters, 3 hunters, 4 hunters. It doesn't matter. We want everybody to have the experience of, hey man, we came down here, we had a great time. There wasn't 10 people in camp, and not knocking the other places. I'm not.
Yeah.
We're just able to do this, and we're able to do it. And right now it works for us, and the hunters love it. So what we try to do is really focus on the hunt itself and the hunter, and when I say exclusive, if y'all two were to book a hunt and say, hey, we want to come down there, we want to hunt a trophy whitetail, I want this and I want this, or he wants this, y'all are going to be the only ones on the ranch. You're going to have your guide, and each have a guide, and we're going to go hunt. And what that does, it gives us more hunting area on the ranch. We're able to hunt different areas. We're not too worried about, hey, I've got a hunter over here, we can't go over here.
Mm-hmm.
And that group that comes in is their friends, business associates, whatever. We do a lot of corporate hunts, so they do bring clients in, and so that allows us to focus on the hunt, and that allows that person to focus on their client and build that relationship, which is very important in business. So that's kind of our philosophy, is to really do hunts where we're not mixing groups, and we can have exclusive hunts for that hunter. Or I've got a guy coming in October. I want to say he's coming in early October. Booked a hunt from Pennsylvania, coming in on a black buck hunt, and I've got him 4 days, and we just worked the schedule where he's here by himself for 4 days. And so it allows us to take a guy that's never been to Texas, he hadn't been down here, get him down here and just really, really one-on-one with him. And hopefully we build that relationship. At the same time, I talk about these guys building relationships with their clients. We're building these relationships where they want to come back and spend time with us.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you cater to groups, to individual groups, but if the group is 15, 20 people, you can handle those too.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have to be 3 or 4 people.
I use 1 or 2 as an example, but we can do large groups. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
So what all do you guys?
Yeah.
So what all do you guys hunt down there at DEA?
We focus on whitetail because it's South Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, what we do down here. We're, Joe, we've known each other for a long time, and we met hunting whitetail deer.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do. We hunt whitetail. We love whitetail. We eat, breathe, and sleep whitetail. We just love those things. But we also have, like I said earlier, we have, another 15, 20 different species. I just got an addex in the other day. I got a male addex in to put in my herd. We had some females, wanted to change it up a little bit. So, change the genetics a little bit. So I got another male in, just put him in. And I tell everybody when they ask me, what do y'all have? And I say, well, we have everything from axis to zebra. That's what we have, if you can kind of figure a letter in between there, there's a pretty good chance that we've got, wildebeest, we got bison, we've got sandbar, elk, red stag, sika, fallow, black buck. It just, the list kind of just goes on and on. Water buck, I might have mentioned that, water buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
We've just got a little bit of everything. So we try to fill those needs of what people are looking for. So
the thing about DEA that I found is interesting is it's not a huge ranch, not a huge property, but it hunts like a huge property. And people, some people that have had experiences at other ranches that are primarily exotics, they go, well, I went out to the pasture and we kind of looked at this herd and I shot one. It's not like that at DEA. I mean, you've got that ranch set up to where the animals are there and you're there, but you and I both have seen, you more than me, but I've had a guest down there that has wanted to hunt a particular species and hunted it for 3 or 4 or 5 days and never saw one.
Yes.
They're there,
Wow.
But they're not just going to be sitting out in the pasture. I mean, they're hiding. They're in that thick brush. And Leo's got the ranch set up where there's lots of cover, stuff that you don't even want to go into. Really, I mean, you'd be better off shooting your animal out in the pasture, but or hope your doves don't fall in the brush, because you and I couldn't see each other.
Oh wow,
through the brush over there.
We are.
It's that thick up through there. Some parts.
It really is. I mean, even people ask me, well, what's the hardest hunt on the ranch, and I'm like, well, they're all pretty much pretty tough. Our axis hunts are tough. I do my axis hunts one-on-one. I don't take more than 2 hunters. It's not drive out and say, okay, well, there he is. Which one do you like?
Right.
We've got a self-sustaining herd of axis. We don't hunt them hard. I say not hard. We don't do a lot of axis hunts. I do a very limited number of axis hunts. And, man, we hunt. They're hard. Joe's been on you watched me. You watched me get outsmarted by an axis. He just it was not a pretty sight, but I mean they're tough. I mean they're a tough hunt. But so yeah, we try to keep our habitat right, our numbers right. We don't overstock with anything, and that's why I like to say, well, we have a little of a lot. Mm-hmm. We do have a lot of different species, but I don't have 500 oryx running around. So it's pretty challenging no matter what we're hunting.
All right. I'm sorry to be asking this question now, but what are the sleeping arrangements like out there?
Our lodge, we have individual rooms. I think we do double rooms, double beds, 2 beds per room. I'm sorry.
Yep.
So then we have one bigger room. Each room has its own bathroom, shower.
Yep.
So say, if we get a group of 4, everybody's got their own room, everybody's got their own bathroom, shower, we've got room to spread out. But also, when I say, we have a big room, we can accommodate groups of, like Joe said, 10, 12, 15, and mostly those groups are bird hunters, our dove hunts. We tend to do bigger groups on our dove hunts. And so I want to say, it's hard to explain. It is private.
Yep.
But we do have some room for big groups.
Yeah.
So
the other thing too, they've got some satellite properties on the ranch near the wedding venue. So if you and I go, of course we can't stand to be in the same room together.
Correct.
So Leo would put you up at the little yellow house at the front of the property. But they've got these little houses all over the property. So even if you got more than 15, they can accommodate more than that. Or if you just
and it has worked out to where we say, hey, and one of the things is with the business, we do corporate hunts, and we'll say, hey, we're going to put these guys over here because they need to spend some time. We're going to put these guys over here, and then we're all going to meet in the venue and have dinner.
Yeah.
And so we'll come together for dinner in the venue, and then those guys will hang out, sit around, and then it kind of breaks off and they all go back to their house, and it allows them to do what they need to do, business wise, and build those relationships. We're big on relationships.
Yeah.
I love building those relationships with my hunters.
I was just mainly curious because I have an 8 and a 6-year-old, and they have expectations of lodging at other ranches, and so I just wanted to know how you'd compare.
No, that'll be fine.
Yeah, it's great.
So ask him about your second favorite subject to sleep.
Me?
Yeah.
What's my favorite second?
What's the thing?
The food.
Oh,
yeah. How are the? Sorry. Yeah, of course, the food.
The groceries. The food is good. The food is real good. I mean, we have a full time, because of the venue. We have a full time chef on staff. So yeah, there's no lacking of food.
Yeah.
It's almost to the point to where you go, and I've heard Joe say it. I think I added a few pounds this weekend.
Or I need to go home and stop eating. He's saying the food is good. Let me tell you, the food is good and plentiful, because when you when you show up, if you're like showing up on a Friday afternoon, there's appetizers laid out, prepared.
Okay.
And then you go out and do your afternoon hunt. And oh, by the way, there's a big, long, giant table on the side that's got everything from Fritos to Pop-Tarts on it, stocked throughout the entire weekend. And it's like 3 meals a day and then an afternoon snack before the afternoon hunt. And it's nonstop eating.
That's nice.
Which leads to yeah, go ahead, Leo.
No, I'm sorry. And I was going to say, comfort food.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
Comfort food. We love comfort. Hamburger steak, chicken fried steaks,
great Mexican food.
Great Mexican food. And being so close to the coast, shrimp, fish.
Mm-hmm.
So we mix it up, but comfort food would be the best way to describe our meals.
Attention hunters, elevate your hunting game with Derwin Bike, the ultimate electric bike designed for rugged terrain and stealth. Whether you're navigating dense forest or traversing open fields, Derwin's powerful e-bikes give you the silent advantage. Forget the noise and hassle of ATVs. With Derwin, you can get closer to your prey undetected and carry your gear with ease. Ready to revolutionize your hunting experience? Visit derwinbikes.com and explore our range of adventure-ready e-bikes today.
Gunworks is a Cody, Wyoming-based manufacturer and provider of premium long-range rifle systems, optics, components, and training. Since 2006, Gunworks has led the charge in innovating and engineering premium quality long-range shooting technology, equipment, and techniques with a singular goal of providing hunters the ability to achieve quick and effective one-shot kills at whatever distances shots are encountered. The Gunworks team is dedicated to service and perfection in purpose-built products ready for 1,000 yards out of the box. Learn more at gunworks.com. That's GUNWERKS.com.
Hunting Matters is presented by RC Cartridges. Founded in Italy in 1970, RC Cartridges is a family-owned business dedicated to technology, innovation, and shooting excellence. RC has a historic legacy as a provider of ammunition for Olympic champions, and they are constantly evolving with the goal of producing the highest quality cartridges available. RC is as passionate about shooting and hunting as you are. Whether it's hunting or shooting, steel or small caliber, RC Cartridges has the shotgun shell options to meet your needs. Go to rccartridgesusa.com to learn more. That's rccartridgesusa.com.
The Houston Safari Club Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that supports the future of hunting and conservation. Wildlife and habitat conservation, youth education and outdoor experiences, scholarships, and anti-poaching efforts are just a few of the programs supported by this organization. Monthly events, an annual convention, award-winning publications, networking opportunities, and valuable resources for hunting knowledge are just a few of the benefits of being a member of Houston Safari Club Foundation. If you're searching for a group of people dedicated to protecting the future of hunting, look no further. Join Houston Safari Club Foundation today at wehuntwegive.org or call 713-623-8844. And sometimes, if you're a good boy, you get steak fresh off the ranch because Leo has now kickstarted a cattle operation.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about your cattle
sir.
operation down there as well.
We started out. I asked the owner. We have Angus cattle, black Angus cattle, and I asked the owner of the ranch if I could feed out a steer for the employees. I said, "Hey, can we feed out a steer, have it butchered to give to the employees so everybody can have some meat?" The cost of meat is really starting to go up at the grocery stores, and I thought, man, this would be a cool little deal for everybody to have some meat, extra meat. And of course, he was like, "Absolutely." He said, "Man, do it." So, I brought some steers in, we start feeding them out, and we butchered the first one and passed out the meat. Everybody gets meat. We're like, "Hey, it's up here in the freezer, go get some." Put a box together, took it to him. I said, "Hey, I brought you some ribeye steaks and, just some different stuff." And then we started feeding it at the lodge. We thought, well, hey, we have some hunters and we have some homegrown beef, let's utilize it. Well, the response was fantastic. The people that would eat it would say, and it was funny because, they come in, we would make whatever. It didn't matter what we cooked with the beef. They would taste it and go, "Where'd you get this?" And just because it tastes like meat, And so we would tell them, well, we're growing it on the ranch. And it started from one guy going, "Well, how can I get some?" And so we sold him a steer, and then it kind of started snowballing. And then so now when it got a USDA label, so now we have our own USDA label. And I just today talked to a guy on the phone. They've got a little restaurant right up the road here outside of Calala, which is outside of Corpus Christi. And one of the posts that Madison put up, about our beef deal. We've been working cattle, doing some stuff. We've really upgraded our cattle program with AI. So now we're introducing Wagyu into our herd. We just had our first set of Wagyu babies hit the ground. So now we're going to be offering some Wagyu beef. But so she put up that's my daughter, Madison. She put up a post on Facebook about, hey, you know, we're working cows, and picture of some meat, and said, hey, look, this is what we're doing. And this guy saw it and called and said, hey, can I get some beef for my restaurant? So I really pretty much finalized it today with him. We're going to start supplying beef for his restaurant, locally grown, you know, locally raised beef. And of course, he's going to advertise it as such, and which is good for us because, you know, we're also can say, hey, look, our beef is in this restaurant, you know. And so I talked to him today. Next Wednesday, we actually drop his steer, and that's another thing. He says, hey, can I go see the steers? And I'm like, yeah, we have a feedlot right here. So he can come out to the ranch and go, that's it. I said, yeah, your beef is coming from this animal right here. So we're going to drop off his steer next Wednesday. It'll hang for 21 days, and then we'll butcher it up. And then that whole beef is going, you know, to his place, and then we'll just continue the process as we go along. So, yeah, we've got a full-blown now beef program going. And actually, after this one, the next one going in is going to one of y'all's, the guy that bought the steer. We donated a steer to the Houston Safari Club auction, full steer, butchered, you know, ready to go. And so a guy bought it at auction, and the next year going in is probably the following week is going to Dallas to someone that bought it online at the auction.
So let's just say, for example, there's somebody who wants to buy a whole steer from you.
Somebody you know?
Yes,
Somebody
sir.
I know.
Yes,
Somebody
sir.
Joe knows. Is that available?
Absolutely.
Yeah. How would they find that?
Absolutely. So what we do is, and it's funny because I have someone coming in this weekend. I've got someone coming in this weekend. We're working on our website as far as being able to order steaks. Whether you want a full steer, half steer, quarter steer, or steaks and hamburger, you know, different parts of the steer. And we're actually working on that this weekend. They're coming into the lodge. We're going to be down here kind of brainstorming, trying to kick off our website. You know, what do we need to put on it, prices, stuff like that. Right now, you can call the ranch, just call me and say, hey, I need half a steer. I need a full steer. I need steaks. I just want hamburger meat. And, you know, we'll quote you the price and we'll ship it. You know, we'll overnight it to you. But I have my biggest sell has probably been half steer, people buying a half a steer and putting it into their freezer. Or, you know, so that's where we're at on that.
What if I just wanted a hoof?
I could get you a hoof.
For my dogs to just chew on the hoof.
I could hook you up with a hoof, or maybe an antler, piece of an antler.
A cow antler?
I saw antlers at Chews the other day at Tractor Supply, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. And that's got to be such a fantastic market of some guy cutting up sheds and putting them in a little plastic bag and selling them as dog chews.
Yeah.
You know?
We got them all over our house, and man, they wear those cow hooves out.
Yeah.
So see what we're doing. Here's what we do: you order your steer, half a steer, and then when it gets ready, we go down and we shoot some pigs, and you pick up your beef.
Let's go right now. What's the turnaround time on that, Leo? About from the time I order a half a steer?
It's about a 3 to 4 week turnaround. On a steer, because we hang it from the day that it goes in. It hangs for 21 days. They dry age it for 21 days, and it does really well when you do that. The meat, it's good for the meat. So you're looking at 3 to 4 weeks from say I want one to finish.
Now, could you hang mine for 22 days just to make it one day better?
I could do just to make you the winner.
Just 22
just to make
days.
It that one day longer than everybody else.
That extra taste is one extra.
You can brag of that at your dinner party. You know, this has been aged 22 days and 3 hours.
Everyone has 121. I do 22.
I do 22.
yes. Absolutely.
As Leo told me, one of my favorite new sayings now is Leo said, you know, when it's too tough for everybody else, it's just right for us. Anything you put in front of Leo, he can take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We're in the we don't like to say no. We try our best to go, yes, we can do that.
Nice.
So
The other thing, I mean, there's just so many things that you guys offer. It's, it's so convenient and close to San Antonio. If you're out of state, you fly into San Antonio, you guys pick people up, or they can just hop 30, 40 minutes down there to the ranch-ish, or 45 minutes or so. It's so easy to get to, straight highway. The other thing is,
we had a guy come in this late winter, came in on a hunt, flew into Corpus Christi. I picked him up at the airport, brought him in. He allowed, and we talked about it, he allowed an extra day to go to San Antonio. They flew it from South Dakota, actually. We took a day, we drove to San Antonio. They wanted to see the Alamo, they wanted to see the Riverwalk, they wanted to see the Hall of Horns. It's funny, they wanted to go up to the bar at the Hall of Horns and drink a Lone Star beer. And so we did that, took pictures. They wanted the pictures in there with the Lone Star. And so we drove them up there. We, went down and ate at Tierra, Market Square, and did the whole Market Square thing.
Yep.
So yeah, it's close enough that we can do that, and we'll do it. I've got another guy coming, like I said, from out of state, and he actually asked also, hey, can we take a day and do a little sightseeing? He said, I'd love to go to San Antonio and do, of course the Alamo is the biggest attraction, but he wanted to do same thing, Riverwalk, Alamo, stuff like that. And I was like, you bet, let's go. So being that close is very convenient. Yes, sir.
The other thing is that you guys don't really market on the website. And again, folks, the website is dearanch.com. You don't really market it, but you're connected to just about every fishing guide down in the Laguna Madre. And so if somebody were to come in and want to do a hunt for a few days and say, oh, by the way, if the fish are biting, Leo, can you connect me with you've got those connections as well.
I will absolutely set up and I'll handle everything. And we've done it where they'll come in and say, hey, we want to fish on this day. Can we do a fishing trip? Obviously. And we're like, yes. And I'll tell them, I'll just ask how many and what they want to fish. And I'll take care of all the details, get the guide. There's no questioning of, I don't know this guy. I was guiding out of Corpus Christi there, Flower Bluff, for 8 or 10 years. So I've really got a connection with the guides. And we set it up from start to finish. They'll come in, they'll hunt, they'll go fish, come back in and hunt, or, however we want to set it up. Duck hunting, I've set up duck hunts. They'll come in and deer hunt for 2 days, and then we'll do a duck hunt in the morning. We'll drive them down to hunt on the bay out of airboat. They'll take an airboat ride to the blind, duck hunt, come back to the ranch in the afternoon. We'll be deer hunting that afternoon.
That's cool.
Yeah, really, really cool deal, man. Yeah. Yep. So to have that option and to be tied in with the guides, and I've got some fantastic guides. I can't say enough about the guides that we use. Really do their homework, professional guys. And you don't have to worry about, man, I don't know this guy. I'm coming from, Dallas to South Texas, and I'm going to do a duck hunt on the bay, but I don't know this guy. I just found him on the internet. Well, we get rid of all that. We take care of it. We set it all up. We'll drive you down there, drop you off at the airboat. You go duck hunt, come back, or fish. So we had a guy, they came in, they deer hunted. So it was duck season, right? So they deer hunted a couple of days. They went down, they duck hunted one in the morning. Mid-morning, they got done, say 10:30, 11 o'clock, jumped in the airboat, went and caught some redfish, and then got done. I picked them up. We drove them back to the ranch, hung out a little bit. We were back in the deer blind that afternoon. So we had ducks, redfish, and deer all in one day.
That's heaven.
That's nice.
That's heaven. Yeah. What'd you do this weekend? Well, I'd tell you, but it'd make you cry.
You won't believe me. Yeah. So we can cater it and fly fishing. I've got a guy down on the coast that he's just phenomenal fly fishing guide. So yeah, we do fly fishing, we do bay fishing, wading, duck hunting. It just opens up more doors as to what we do. And again, we take the work out of you looking for a guide that you don't know, on the bay.
Hunting Matters is presented by DEA Ranch. Are you looking for the ultimate South Texas hunting experience? Then look no further than DEA Ranch. DEA Ranch offers some of the best whitetail and exotic game hunts in South Texas year-round. Whether you're looking to fill your freezer or put the next hunting memory on the wall, their professional guides are focused on ensuring each client has a memorable and exciting hunting experience. DEA Ranch offers guided hunts, professional staff, chef-prepared meals, trophy preparation, and more. To learn more, go to DEARanch.com. That's DEARanch.com.
Hunting Matters is sponsored by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Under the visionary leadership of founder Johnny Morris, Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's is leading North America's largest conservation movement. Together with their partners in conservation, they're positively shaping the future of the outdoors through donations, grant making, and advocacy. The 501c3 Outdoor Fund raises funds to support conservation efforts by activating more than 200 million passionate sportsmen and women, rounding up their purchases in Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's stores and online. Visit BassPro.com or Cabela's.com today.
Turn a gun you like into one you love. You'll shoot better with the Boyd's Hardwood Gun Stock. Upgrade your firearm to Boyd's and your gun will fit you better and look better. Boyd's uses only top-grade hardwoods because a hardwood stock performs. Boyd's gun stocks are engineered to fit precisely on its specified gun model. Their engineers have continued to perfect manufacturing methods since 1981. That's why you get far more gun stock for your money. Boyd's makes gun stocks for hundreds of gun brands and thousands of models. Shoot better today at boydsgunstocks.com. Nobody wants to imagine an emergency on a hunting trip, but when the unexpected happens, you want the team of medical and security experts at Global Rescue to be there for you. Global Rescue Operations Centers are staffed by experienced personnel, and you'll always speak to an expert on the first call. With unparalleled capabilities to transport members to their home hospital of choice, you'll get back to your preferred hospital, not the closest. So, trade what-ifs for peace of mind with convenient travel services designed for the unexpected. Learn more at globalrescue.com/hunting matters. Are you interested in breeding exotic wildlife as a method of generating cash flow for your ranching operation? Wildlife Partners is an innovative wildlife conservation company that is the largest breeder, buyer, and seller of exotic wildlife in America. Let them show you how wildlife breeding and ranching can help secure the future of animal species while generating cash flow and substantial first-year tax deductions. Wildlife Partners serves more than 500 private landowners in Texas and numerous conservation-minded investors throughout the U.S. Non-landowners can also own wildlife. To learn more, go to wildlifepartners.com.
Leo, what's your, aside from, your guiding and running that ranch down there and the years you've done ranch management, you personally, if I were to say tomorrow we can go do this on a hunt, what's kind of on your bucket list, or what's your favorite type of hunting personally?
Oh, golly, the list is long. I love mule deer. I've hunted mule deer. I've hunted mule deer in New Mexico. I've killed and every time I say, okay, well, I killed a fantastic mule deer with my bow on a self-guided hunt. It was a phenomenal hunt. And I think, okay, well, I've checked that off. But then I've hunted elk all over Colorado, and it's fantastic. And I think, okay, well, I've checked that off. But then you get it to where it draws you back, where you start getting that, I want to do Africa. Yeah. Africa is pretty high on my bucket list. I want to do Africa with my daughter, Mathis. We've talked about it. She loves to hunt. Both my daughters love to hunt. They were raised on ranches, and both of them love to hunt. And, now my grandkids were kind of coming with me. And, my grandson, him and Ramon would probably get along great. Because his biggest deal is, and I'm going to go ahead and say it. He's like, let's go shoot a pig in the face. That's his idea of a good afternoon.
And how old is he, Leo, now?
6. Yeah. He
sounds like my kind of dude.
Shooting pigs.
Yeah.
Because it's fast and it happens and it's boom. It's not like, hey, be quiet. It's deer hunting. And he loves hunting hogs. But anyway, I just love to hunt so much, and I love fishing. And I think I go through cycles, Joe, seasons of, man, I want to do, there's a couple of hunts that I would really like to do. Like I said, I want to do Africa. And believe it or not, I want to do pronghorn. And I think I want to do it in Wyoming, New Mexico type of hunt. Yeah. And I know we have them in Texas, but I think it'd just be cool to say, hey, let's go hunt them in New Mexico or Wyoming. And the fishing, I've just gotten to where I'm actually, I'm looking at skiffs right now. I want a skiff. I want a shallow water skiff. Yes, sir. I fished a couple of weeks ago. I went out and fished on the bay, and it kind of relit that fire. I hadn't been in a while, and we went and fished and caught some redfish and caught some trout. And I pulled out my fly rod, played with it a little bit. I hadn't fly fished in a long time, and I think that the fishing is really gonna going to start kicking up again. I'm just going to start preparing for next summer to get back out with my fly rod and a skiff.
What's a skiff?
It's a shallow water boat. They'll run in 3 or 4 inches of water.
Oh, wow.
So you're chasing redfish that are tailing.
Okay.
You're looking across the water and you'll see a redfish tail because they're bottom feeders.
Yeah.
So they'll dip down and their tails will pop up and the water line will be right here and you'll see that. And there's nothing greater. Joe's Louisiana, that.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing better to be in a flat or a marsh and just look across it and see redfish tails just doing that all across that marsh. It's a beautiful sight.
You jump in and grab them, or
with my just bite with my mouth, bite down on them. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well,
a skiff is a redneck Piro.
Redneck Piro.
It's a redneck Piro.
Yeah. So that's just been my like I said, I think I go through, like, I don't know if you want to call it a seasons.
Sure.
But I'm like, okay, well, I want to do this or I want to do this. And so I think that's kind of where I'm at right now.
I'm the same way. You kind of get something in your head, then you start studying it, and you go, I remember I did that, or I've never done that. I'd like to learn more about it. And then you kind of get infatuated with it for a while until I was the same way about bear. First time I shot a bear, I'm like, I'm going to go to Canada. I'll shoot a black bear and I'll be done with it. Get it out of my system.
No.
Didn't leave your
If somebody were to call me right now and go, hey, let's go black bear hunting, I'm like, okay, let's go. Especially if Ramon, if Ramon's paying for it, I'm definitely in.
Wait, what?
The elk,
Yep.
I say that, well, I've hunted elk but golly, just to be in the mountains and because, obviously we live down here in South Texas, but to hear that elk bugle and to call and have it respond and actually come to you, it's like nothing else. I mean, it's the equivalent of rattling a deer in and it's just a bigger animal. But you're right. I think if somebody called me right now and said, hey, July, September opens up for elk, I got a spot, what do you think? It'd be real hard to say, okay, what's my first dove hunt?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get away from my dove hunt.
We can cancel that weekend that Betar's coming down for the cast and blast. He knows, or not cancel it. He knows his way around the ranch. He'll be fine.
He'll understand. Yeah, he'll understand. So it kind of comes and goes. But I the list is long, but there's and I think so much of the fun, Joe, which the research.
Yeah.
How much just sitting down and going, man, because then that leads from here to here, and you start going down that rabbit hole, and I'll start reading stories about the hunts, about the Africa hunts, and about the the pronghorn hunts or the mule deer hunts, and then I'm looking up hotspot areas that have bigger mule deer because you want to hunt bigger mature deer, and so it leads you down different paths. But right now, Africa and I think pronghorn are top of my list.
That's you bring up a good point. That's the cool thing about hunting is you never stop learning.
Never. Ever.
Even if you're like Leo, you live, eat, and breathe it all day long, every day, and you've seen it all and done it all. You always learn something. And Leo, you and I both learned something this year about turkeys. We had an aha moment about turkeys and that we never thought about. Tell Ramon a little bit about what we learned.
Well, it's when you think you know it all, and turkey hunts. Turkeys will humble you like no other animal.
Mm-hmm.
And so we I could show you videos and pictures, or drive you around the ranch and show you, 30, 40, 50, 70 turkeys. And so we were excited this year. Turkey season's coming up, and me and Joe are texting, and I'll send him a picture, and hey, it's going to be great. And, we're all
here's
excited.
60 birds running in front of the truck.
Yeah, like that. And so he comes down, they come down, and we just, we'd have been better off going to HEB and buying a bird. That would have been our only way we got a bird, and it wasn't for lack of trying. We tried hard, and we would, just sit down and go, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Let's try this. Let's try this.
Are we going to use decoys or not? Well, I don't know. They're not even talking.
Yes. Do we put out a hen? Do we put out a jake? Do we do both? Do we not? Do we just leave?
We're doing a lot of this,
Ramon.
Ramon.
Try to call them in.
Got
exactly.
it. Yeah,
exactly. So anyway, we hunted, and it was tough. It was super tough. And what it was, the thing was, we couldn't figure out where did these birds go. They were here. And of course, me being on the ranch, I'm telling Joe, and he's like, man, I know. And I'm like, no, but you don't understand. They were here. He's like, I know, but me being the guide and me being the manager, I want everybody to be successful. And it just, I don't know how to explain it. It just drives you crazy when it doesn't happen. Cause I'm thinking, I saw them a week ago. They were right here. Anyway, long story longer. It was tough. So fast forward to a month ago, Joe, and I'm driving down through the ranch, and Joe sends me a text message, and he says, hey, listen to this. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a podcast. And so I immediately click it on my truck as I'm driving around, and he sent it to me into Madison. And she started it first. She was doing something else. She actually texted me and said, are you listening to this? And I said, no, I haven't started it yet. I said, but I'm going to. She said, no, stop what you're doing and put this podcast on. And I'm like, okay. So I turned it on, and I literally was driving to the pasture and just stopped and went, okay, this guy. And it was just a aha moment. It was just like, well, no wonder. No wonder. Oh, well, okay. Well, dummy me, and a lot of it is just not knowing. And like Joe says, you never quit learning. And I'm never, too proud to listen to a podcast and say, this guy knows what he's doing. I mean, this guy's fantastic. This is great, and he made some points of, so what we do, or what I do, is we have such a stigma in our head for cover. We have to have cover to protect the animals. Our fawns need cover, which they do. Our turkeys, when they lay a nest, need cover, which they do to protect them from predators because they nest on the ground. So animals need cover to hide, to protect themselves. So,
and let me interrupt you there, Leo, for just a second, because this year we were all bragging and look, because the ranch this spring was gorgeous. It looked like it was green, thick, lush,
perfect
everywhere, everywhere. Okay, go ahead.
So we have this cover, right? Fantastic cover, and I'm thinking, oh man, we're going to have such a great hatch. Our fawns are going to be great, because we have all this cover. Well, the turkeys, we just couldn't find them. We listened to this podcast, and this guy who is much smarter than me says, one of the problems that people don't realize is turkeys like to see where they're going. So they're walking with their heads up. So when the cover is too tall, they're not going to go there. And I just went, what?
Yeah.
Because they got the rain, and our cover was, instead of being knee high, was waist high. And that foot difference or foot and a half difference put it over their head. And I really believe he's right, Joe.
Yeah.
They moved to another area.
3 years ago, when you didn't have that spring, we had birds all over us. They were working decoys, they were working calls, everything. And you think about it, like Leo says, you think about it, it's like, they need cover to hide. The poults need to hide, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
But this guy said it flat out on the podcast. If the birds can't see above the brush line or the grass line, they're not going there because they're not protected. They don't feel protected.
Yeah.
They like to see.
Make sure.
Situational awareness. Who knew turkeys had situational awareness?
Who would think that now? So what do we do now? Now we're going to go mow lanes.
Yeah.
We go mow lanes. We're going to leave cover, open it up, a little cover, open it up, and voila,
It'll be very interesting next year to see how that works, because you've got the birds. They're there. You've got the birds.
I'll send you a picture in a minute. I took it yesterday, and I meant to send it to you, and I didn't because I got to doing other stuff running around. I took a picture, and I took a little short video of 3 hens walking across my hayfield up there in the front. 3 hens walking across literally in front of my house with 18 or 20 poults.
Wow.
On average, probably 6 apiece,
Sure.
7 apiece. And I just going, yes, because the baby, and that's just the future of, the turkey hunting. And so, yeah, they were walking across that open field like they owned it.
Yeah.
Not scared, not nothing. And I just laughed. I was like, there you go.
I'm going to park back there. I'm going to park back there in those senderos and the brush lines where the dove fields are next year.
Yeah.
We put one person on each lane.
But it just, I'm never too proud to start learning.
Yeah.
And that guy, and Madison right away, she's like, hey, you got to listen to this. And when I did, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's right.
I had the exact same reaction. That's why I had to send it to you, because I was like, Leo's going to die when he hears this. So, listen, Leo, I know you're a super busy man. Let's wrap it up here. How does the fall whitetail season look? We've had good spring rains. How's it looking for this fall in Texas?
We had a great timely rains in the spring. It was dry. We got some great rains in March and April. Then it dried up a little bit. And now, of course, it's been raining and raining. You know, we got some rain last week. It's as green. Probably the 2020 was the last time I saw it like this, where it's so green and wet and raining, and it's raining in cycles. You know, it'll rain 7 to 10 days later. There'll be something else come off the Gulf and get another rain. 7 to 10 days. I mean, it's just been hitting us, and it's been good rains, half inch to inch and a half. You know, we had an inch and a half the other day over about 24 hours, and it was just the greatest rain. And then we had, you know, 3/4 of an inch in 10 minutes, you know, but it's rained. And so ponds are full, creeks are full. I think this deer season ought to be as good as, and our fawns are great. We're starting to see fawns, you know, of course, because we have the cover, which gives us, you know, myself being the management minded, I'm thinking, man, 5 years from now, it's going to be real good because, you know, those fawns are, you got to look 5 years. This isn't a fast game. It's a slow game.
Sure.
But the fawns that are born right now are going to be mature in 5 years. So I'm already thinking, man, 5 years down the road, we ought to have a fantastic, you know, deer crop. So, but it ought to be really fantastic.
I'm excited. I'm excited about
yes,
whitetail season in South Texas this year.
Yes, sir. And lots of dove right now, Joe. I mean, I've seen as many dove as it's a lot of dove that are staying down here, resident dove. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I guess that rain's kind of keeping them pocketed in. So. That's
sure
awesome.
Is.
Well, I'll be joining you here in about a month and a half for dove season.
I look forward to it.
And yeah, you tell Madison we said hello, folks. Leo Martinez, the ranch manager at the DEA Ranch. Check out their website at dearanch.com. You want to have an ultimate South Texas hunting experience with personalized attention to detail and all the food, to the point where you'll go, okay, I just got to stop eating. just crazy. Check out dearanch.com and hook up with our buddy Leo Martinez down there. And Leo, we really appreciate your time.
Thank you all for having
Leo.
me.
You bet. Take care.
Hunting Matters is a Houston Safari Club Foundation production, hosted by HSCF Executive Director Joe Betar and Ramon Robles. Produced by Ramon Robles. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. For questions or more information, email us at info@wehuntwegive.org.